Hi, this is 5 a.m. exercise. Since I did not exercise this morning, I decided to make it up by doing cardio at night. Since watching me walking on the treadmill repeatedly will be boring, so I decided to punish myself by researching about related topics of the exercise that I am doing to make the videos entertaining. So here are some facts and history about the treadmill. I hope you enjoy. Facts and history about the treadmill. Introductions. When we talk about treadmills, we often associate with a machine used for walking and running, exercise indoors, at the gym, or at the comfort of your home. But in the past, treadmill was created and used for variety of purpose, from laboring to punishing prisoners. Up until the 1920s, treadmill were primarily used for labor, with their earliest use dating back to roughly 4,000 years ago. The purpose of these was primarily to lift buckets of waters. Essentially, a wheel was rotating around a central vertical axis and was powered by an ox or other various animals. Sometimes even humans were used. This same technology was later adapted to create rotary grain mills and the treadwheel crane, which mainly used in buildings for lifting heavy objects. It was also used to pump water and power dough kneading machines. In 1818, Sir William Cubitt, an English engineer, developed a form of a treadmill for use in England prison. The goal was to harness the power of prisoner by using treadmill for crop milling as well as a form of punishment. To describe how the machine works, prisoners step on 24 spokes of a large paddle wheel. As the wheel turned, the prisoner was forced to keep stepping or risk falling off, similar to modern stepper machines. Meanwhile, the rotation made gears pump out water, crush grains, or power mills, which is where the name treadmill originates. Sometimes the treadmill was just there in use for the sake of punishment, with no other use for it. The US later adopted these machines with 4 of the machines was built, but 3 were later quickly abandoned. A New York prison guard praises the machine as a means of punishment. He said it was the machine's monotonous steadiness and not its severity which constitute its terror. The treadmill at Bellevue Penitentiary in New York even had a special built-in viewing house so people could cheer or mocking at the prisoners. Prisoners would walk on the treadmill on average for 6 hours to 10 hours a day and would climb anywhere between 5,000 to 14,000 vertical feet. To put this in perspective, the Empire State Building is 1,250 feet in height. The Eiffel Tower is 986 feet in height, and 14,000 feet is roughly Mount Everest halfway point. So as you can see, that's a lot of walking. It wasn't just England and the United States who forced prisoners or others to walk on the treadmills. In 1781, a hospital in France with an incredibly deep well tasked workers and later epileptic and madman patients to run the 72-person machines. Women were made to run the machine as well in the UK and in China, where an American company wrote that women are hired for a few cents a day to stand on this log and keep it turning by stepping upon each one of these projecting arms that look like crooked mallet. Treadmills lasted in England until the late 19th century, when they were banned for being excessively cruel under the Prison Act of 1898. The first U.S. patent for treadmill training machines was issued on June 17, 1913. The 1920s marked the beginning of the treadmill use as a form of exercise. Exercise in the gym was not a commodity enjoyed by the masses. Gym use during this period was a privilege limited to the upper class. The working class didn't have time or much need for exercise since their job consisted of extensive manual labor, and bicycle was still mainly used for transportations. In that time, the treadmill consisted of wooden slats that were manually rotated around two rolling drums. Treadmills remained like this until the 1930s, when the wooden slats were replaced with a fabric running belts and more comfortable handrail was added. In 1939, a treadmill for dogs called Dog Exercising Device was patented. In the 20th century, with the increase of heart disease, it became the largest cause of death in the developed country, with 4 out of 10 deaths were caused by heart disease in the US. In 1940s, Dr. Robert Bruce developed the treadmill stress test that cardiologists still use today. The forerunner of the exercise treadmill was designed to diagnose heart and lung disease and was invented by Robert Bruce and Wayne Quinton at the University of Washington in 1952. Kenneth Cooper research on the benefit of aerobic exercise, published in 1968, provide a medical argument to support the commercial development of the home treadmill and exercise bike. In 1968, Dr. Kenneth Cooper published a book called Aerobics, which sparked the fitness movement that we know and love today. Cooper books noted that individuals who ran for 8 minutes 4 to 5 times a week would be in better physical conditions. The book inspired William Staff, a medical engineer, developed the first consumer treadmill for home use. Staub noticed that there was no affordable household treadmill at the time and decided to develop one for his own use in 1969. He called his first treadmill the Pacemaster 600. Once finished, Staub sent his prototype treadmill to Cooper, who found the machine's first customer, including sellers of fitness equipment. Fast forward to today, the treadmill is now more popular than ever, with usage can be found in many places, include medical centers, sport club, biomechanic institute, orthopedic, shoe shop, running shop, Olympic training centers, university, fire training centers, NASA, test facilities, police force and armies, gyms, and even home use. In the US, in 2017, there are 52.97 million users of the treadmill from age 6 to older. That is 1 user for every 6 people in the US in 2017. With the COVID situations in 2020, the wholesale of treadmills to consumers in the US is $1.5 billion, which is a significantly increase compared to the other years from 2007 to 2019. The global treadmill market was valued at 3.2 billion in 2020 and is projected to reach 5.9 billion by 2030 due to the increase of health and fitness awareness, penetration in international brand, rise in culture of gym across the globe, and with the closure of gym and fitness centers, increased the demand for personal fitness equipment, including treadmills across the developing nations. Treadmills have come a long way from device used for laboring to prison torturing device to exercise machine that we use today, which are more versatile, app connected, and personalized with biofeedback that can be catered to all demographics. Thus conclude my research about the history of the treadmill. I hope you find this video entertaining or informative. I also leave some link in the description I got the information from, which is more detailed and well made than mine. I would highly recommend watching the video Step a History of Treadmill by the History Guy channel. He did a very well and detailed coverage of this topic. Thank you for your time, and see you tomorrow with more exercise at 5 a.m.